Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to my IFRS interpretation and compliance demo. Uh, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to share what I know with all of you. And as you've all known from my previous sharings, I design online tools that help with IFRS compliance and interpretation. And one of the key things that always comes up with students: how do I apply IFRSs? How do I apply IFRSs? And one application area is compliance. And the tool I'm going to be sharing with you today is IFRS 17, which is our insurance contracts. And we're going to be using this tool in order to check whether the prepared financial statements of different companies are in line or comply or follow the procedures that are laid down before in the IFRS 17 standard. IFRS 17 standard is relatively a new standard, but it's not that new because it's just an improvement on an already existing standard. Back then, IFRS 4, which was also insurance contracts, but it was phased out and it was replaced by IFRS 17. So this tool is designed to help check whether the prepared financial statements of different companies are compliant or are in line with the guidance under IFRS 17. So this tool is made up of mainly two sections. We have the section for the active part and the section for the dormant part. The dormant part is just what shows the details, the standards, the definition, the objectives, the scope, the recognition, measurement, presentation, disclosure, any other information, conclusion. That's the dormant part, which is the information which is contained in any IFRS standard that you come across. And this tool is designed in such a way that it is uh, cognizant of key words and key features that are in each statement for each key part. For instance, the objective. Its main aim is to ensure that an entity provides relevant information that faithfully represents the contracts of insurance, reinsurance, investment, and transfer and their effects. So, this statement has keywords that are entered into it, such that if a financial statement is prepared and it has any of the relevant keywords that represent this statement, it will be checked or auto-checked. So this tool can be used in two ways, either manually or automatically. For instance, manually, I downloaded a report for Prudential Insurance. We're going to be looking at many insurance companies because IFRS 17 is mainly, okay, even other companies apply, but mainly applies to insurance companies. So that's why all the companies we are going to be looking at are insurance companies. But as you can see, for instance, back then when companies were trying to check whether an entity is being compliant with this particular standard IFRS 17, for instance, look at the Prudential report of 20, this is I think 2020, it has over 300 pages. So you will have to come in and you have to look at all this information. You can see gross premium pays, outward reinsurance premiums, and premiums from net reinsurance, remeasurement. So you'll have to go through all physically this information. And by going through all this information, you'll have to then come to our tool to check whether it applies to this particular scenario, and then you tick it off. So once you tick it off, it will be able to track the progress. As you can see here, it's showing IFRS 17 has not been correctly applied. So once you tick it off, you continue to tick it off, you continue to tick it off, you continue to tick it off. By looking at the report, you come, you peruse through, you look at the information you're looking at. Once you see it, you come here and you tick that information that you've seen. You see here that the progress bar will automatically be recording your progress and say, okay, you've complied with this, you're now at 26%. Once you tick another one, you show, you've complied with this, now you're actually at 30%. So that is one of the ways for using it manually. Though this way is good, but it is always advisable to use this way after you've used the automatic method that I'm going to be showing you in a short time to come. We are going to be looking at different financial statements of different companies. So The automatic method for it, it's not very different. Like I told you, each key statement has a keyword which is connected to this progress bar, that if any keyword is entered in the text area, it will trigger this checkbox to be ticked, and once it is ticked, the progress bar here down will be moved to show the progress. So this tool is very nice because it helps to save a lot of time and energy. As you know, auditors, accountants, and different financial professionals, for instance, when they're looking at companies in which to invest in, you have to thoroughly go through the company's financial statements, and that can take some good time. And sometimes you don't have time, sometimes you have deadlines to meet, and to thoroughly go through, for instance, I've showed you the report of Prudential of 2015. You can actually go and download and see yourself. There are 378 pages, so you'll have to go through all this, and after you go through, you come here and you update, you say yes, this I've seen, you tick, and so it is time consuming. But what this tool helps you is that it helps you to save time and it helps with the fatigue. So without further ado, I would like to go into the practical application of this tool so that I can show you exactly what I am trying to show that it helps with. So as you can see, we're going to be looking at the different financial statements of different companies, and the first insurance company I chose was Nick National Insurance Holdings Limited. So as you can see, this company, it has over 100 pages. This is their financial statement for 2015. As you can see, general meeting. This is their chairman, which is Mr. Mr. We shall get to know their chairman later. But you can see this is where it's located. This is okay. Oh, and they're audited. Oh wow, they're audited by Deloitte. Wow, Nick, 2015 they were audited by Deloitte. The auditors were that's very nice. Were Deloitte, so they're showing the insurance industry. So you will have to physically come in and you will have to physically get all that information so that you physically check, is it compliant? You go back and you check on our tool, online tool, IFRS interpretation and compliance tool. But with this tool, the automatic feature is very good because let me just select it here so that it extracts all the text. So we are going to extract all this information that you see. This is actually it's someone good man. So all this information that we see here, we're going to extract it and we are going to put it into our tool to check whether these financial statements that were prepared are in line with IFRS 17, which is insurance contracts. How they show the different, this their CFO, all their branches, and then Soroti, Jinja, Masaka, Lira, Kitgum, Busia, Malaba, Arua, Barara, Kapala. This is their wow. It's a big insurance company. Wow. So they're showing here their public listings, their people, their key people, regulatory compliance. So you'll have to go individually and check all this information. As you can see, deferred acquisition costs, reinsurance costs, property. Oh, they had deferred tax assets, so they had deferred tax income, and that's very nice. I also have other compliance tools. It's not only IFRS 17. I also have others from IFRS 1, IFRS 2, but specifically today I'm just going to show you IFRS 17 as a demo set that you can get in touch with and see whether you would want to hear more from me, or you can even give me some more advice on where to improve. But as you can see, if you're a person who is reviewing this, you'll have to go through lots of pages, you have to go through all this to check. But with that tool, it helps to save all that time. As you can see here, all the information has been gotten, and I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to come and select it here and place it all here. So you can see all the information we were looking at is here. All of it is here. All of it. And we are, of course, you change here. We are specifically looking at IFRS 17 insurance contracts, and we're going to change this to NIC. IFRS 17 analysis. Analysis. Complete. just add complete, and the date is today's date, as you can see. And from our tool, we can see that from all the information, it has auto checked by filling in this upper part, as you can see this, and it has picked out keywords, and it has auto checked the information here, and the progress bar has been updated to show whether NIC, when they prepared their financial statements of 2015, were compliant with IFRS 17, and the conclusion here is IFRS 17 has been correctly applied with a pass rate of 69%, which is very, very good. So it means NIC, when they were preparing their statements, were compliant. So with this information, it's very good. It even gives a starting point for the investigation, because you have to thoroughly dig in, but at least you have an overview snapshot before you thoroughly dig in to actually see what they have to say. So you can even save this for audit purposes, and you can save it, as you can see the information to pages. You can change it to the dynamics to whatever you want, more settings, which will show you US later, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you can say yes, print backgrounds, yes, print colors, yes, and yeah, so you can then save it, and you can say this is NIC IFRS 17 analysis. IFRS 17 analysis. Let's change this. Yes. So after you save it very well, you can then even come here and first try look for it here. NIC IFRS 17 analysis. It's here. As you can see that after we have used that tool, we can see that from the tool we have used, NIC Insurance were compliant with IFRS 17, and they had a 69% pass rate, which is very good. So this tool helps us to save a lot of time other than going through the whole 100 pages. As you can see, NIC have loads of information to go through as you go back to check whether they were compliant, and it is a lot of time consuming, but this tool helps to save that time. So after this, we can go here and update our IFRS 17 application leaderboard. We want to see of all these insurance companies, which company was able to apply IFRS 17 best, and we have seen NIC has scored a 69% pass rate, which is very good. So from finishing NIC, now we want to go on and check for another company. As we have seen NIC, now we want to go on and see another company, and the other company we are going to be looking at is Sanlam. Hey, Sanlam is very nice. So we go back here, now tool, and we are going to look for Sanlam. I think, yeah, Sanlam. Yeah, I think this is Sanlam. And as the information loads, as you can see, Sanlam, it has 68 pages. 68 pages. Remember, NIC was audited by Deloitte. So these ones, you can see their chairman, Mr. Enoch Rukidi, annual financial statements are branches. They're in Rua, they're in Kasese, they're in Hoima, they're in Kampala, Barara, they're in Bali, they're in Gira. Wow, this is their whole board, Mr. Chivombi, Mr. Sasira, Mr. Yahweh. So you can see their company secretary, advocates, their bankers. Ooh, their auditors were Ernst & Young. Wow, Ernst & Young, very nice, very, very nice. So as you can see, in order to check whether IFRS 17 was correctly applied, you have to go through all this information. You can see auditor's report. You can see they found nothing to show that the statements were misstated. They show that they were compliant with IFRS. So you'll have to go through all this information to make sure that the company was compliant with IFRS 17. As you can see here, their statement of comprehensive income, they show reinsurance, gross premium ceded. Okay, they show here finance charges on these obligations, the statement of financial position. They also show they had deferred acquisition costs. They even had deferred tax asset. Wow, it means in future the tax base will be much less than their liability, so they'll be happy. So they'll have to recover some tax from URA, which is very nice. So you can see their intangible assets. So in order to, you have to go through all this information. I was seeing some information of life insurance premiums. They were calculated at contract less than a discounted value of excess premiums. So you'll have to go through all this information, and it is time consuming and tedious and sometimes very expensive because you have to pay for the auditor's time. But with that tool, it helps to ease, and it gives a snapshot of what is exactly happening. You can see IFRS 16. You can see they had some arrangements, business combinations. Their credit risk was low, which is good. They still had currencies. Okay, let's see. So in order to check their compliance, we have extracted all that information, which is in Sanlam's financial report, and we are going to paste it in our tool, and we are looking at IFRS 17 insurance contracts, and we are going to say this is Sanlam IFRS 17 analysis complete, and we are going to say today's date is 11th. Yeah, 11th. Okay, you can see all the information which is contained in the 68 pages of Sanlam. And from all that information, the checkboxes that have been auto-ticked have showed that IFRS 17 has been correctly applied with a pass rate of 65%. Therefore, Sanlam, its financial statements are compliant with IFRS 17. So, which is very good. We can use this as a snapshot to show, yes, Sanlam did very well when it came to complying with IFRS 17. So even when the auditors asking you, did you carry out a detailed check of the financial statements, you say, yeah, these are financial statements of Sanlam, and this is what we found. We had good information. They were able to check most of our key checklist items, and we found that they were compliant by 65% pass rate. So even Sanlam passes our test with 65%. That means Sanlam is compliant with IFRS 17. Let's go ahead and we look at another company. We have finished this was Sanlam. Now let's go ahead and look at Liberty. Liberty always has nice financial statements. So you can see that this is the annual report of Liberty, integrated annual report of Liberty, 172 pages, 2020. So you can see their motto, Liberty is in it with you, Liberty Life Insurance. So yeah, so you can see if you're to try again and apply, going to look at this financial report, you look at the information, it's tedious, 172 pages, all of them, you're green, you don't know what happened, wow. You can see the auditors are KPMG Liberty. And that's nice. We first come and get it here, and we extract all the information from Liberty. Yeah. So as it loads, let's just keep on looking at it here. It also has a big outreach. Their statement's nice. They're prepared very well, showing highlights, small business acquired, their vision to be the trusted leader in insurance. Okay, COVID-19, transcend, life, tail, core values. Okay, you can see brokers, clients, work sites. And this tool is very good because it's not on, they won a fire award. Wow, 2020, brilliant. I can see why. This tool is not only for IFRS. I have also designed tools for IPSAS and also for NGOs, those ones that need to comply with different policy arrangements with big with big organizations like World Bank, UNICEF, World Food Program. This same tool, the same mechanism can be used to design compliance tools that make work easy for a person who is looking at key facts or looking at key documents to check whether compliance is actually relevant. But for now, we are going to be looking at compliance to IFRS, and we have decided to look at IFRS 17. So as you can see here, they're giving some information. They have won many awards, these people, but their chairman, Mr. Almeida, managing director, Mr. Almeida, their chairman, Mr. Sendaula. So as you can see, their board, Mr. Almeida, the lady, yes, I've not seen her name, corporate governance, or acquisition. So you'll have to go through all this information as you go back and check to see whether, okay, this they have complied with this. And it takes a lot of time and it can be tedious. You can take some good time looking at all the 173 pages going through this. And you can see all the enabling investments went up, their taxes went down, their good aggressive tax planning, their planning to go and look at other markets, their employee experiences, their employee workforce has grown, but doing well, their health benefits. You can see their net insurance premium revenue, insurance claims, wealth created. You can see their regulators. Wow, very, very nice. Liberty, you can see it's their workforce. Okay, happy. So all this information, their reports, you'll have to go through to check whether they were compliant with IFRS 17. So if they're the directors, their opinion, their auditors of KPMG, of course, insurance premium, a statement of financial position, or insurance contracts. And they had even them they had a deferred tax asset. Wow, they did well. So you have, and we select all this information, and we go and select our tool and put all this information in our tool, and we shall select IFRS 17. And remember, we are looking at what company is this again? We are looking at Liberty Insurance. So you come and say Liberty Insurance IFRS 17 analysis. Okay, the date is today, and you can see all the information in the 172 pages is here, very well organized. Whatever you want, all the information is there. And when we come down to check, we can see that they are also compliant with a 65% pass rate. So you'll save this information. Liberty IFRS 17 analysis. You can see that they have passed with a 17% pass rate. So let's just come here in case, like, for the purposes they're asking, did you look at Liberties? Yeah, I looked at Liberty. So you'll be able to show them this. So according to our tool, we check the statements, and this is what they were compliant with, and they passed with a 65% pass rate, meaning IFRS 17 has been correctly applied. So we come here and also we update and we say Liberty here. We want to see who is the best. Also 65%. Okay, let's continue. Let's close Liberty. And who next should we look at? Now let's look at Jubilee. Let's look at the information for Jubilee. This was Liberty. Let's close Liberty. This is now Jubilee Insurance. As you can see, 52 pages. You can see, okay, their chairman, Mr. Juma, managing director, all this information, Mr. Hu, regional presence in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, who are their auditors. Their branches, registered office. Their auditors, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Wow, that's nice. Big money. So you can see, in order to check whether they were compliant with IFRS 17 when they prepared these reports, you have to go through all this information. And it's showing here statement of P&L, investment income, insurance claims recoverable, minority interests, consolidated balance sheet. Oh, they had a deferred tax asset also, but they also had a deferred tax liability a bit. Okay, property investment in shares, quoted shares, unquoted shares, changes in equity. Okay, cash inflows. This is a statement of cash flows, basis of preparation, associates 20% and 15 long-term insurance business. They're giving some information, deferred tax, assets. So you'll have to go through all that information to check that. With that tool, we just select all these and we'll put it in our tool to check, and it will auto check and it will check for us, and we shall select it here and we shall say we're looking at Jubilee Insurance IFRS 17 analysis. The date here will be today's date, which is 11th of August, and you can see here they are saying that IFRS 17 has not been correctly applied and they have a pass rate of 42%. But like I said, these are not final. You might find that the tool is saying that is they have not complied 42% because they use different language and jargon. Well, after applying the tool, it gives you a snapshot that you will use before you go in and actually dive in to see whether the Jubilee in their report of 2004, did they actually comply with IFRS 17? So that will give you a complete picture. But here, according to our tool, it shows that Jubilee did not comply with IFRS 17. They only got a pass rate of 42%. So, because when the auditors come and ask you, did you check Jubilee, you say yes, and this is the analysis that I made, and this is the only part that they managed to comply with, and as per our analysis, they only complied 42%, which does not give them at least 50%, thus they did not comply with IFRS 17. And so we come here and we also add them Jubilee, they scored 42%. We want to see of all the insurance companies, which company applied IFRS 17 the best as per our tool. So we continue and we go to the last company that we want to look at, and which is Swico. Swico, I like Swico. Swico is my best. I like it very much because of personal reasons, but it's very nice. We want to see whether they also applied with IFRS 17 when they prepared their financial statements. But as you can see, 42 pages, you'll have to come in and you look at each one, go through the information. They are audited by Kazibo Kenneth and Steven, Certified Public Accountants, Sterry House. Oh wow, very nice. Their chairman, Mr. Kizito, Mr. Chwanuka, the managing director, Mr. Sakasa Kende, their director, Mr. Balikudembe, director, Mr. Sinabdi, director. So they're giving information about their board, their people, the accountant, Dorothy Katongole, very nice. So you can see, oh wow, it's very nice. They prepared their highlights, gross premiums, margins, Mr. Kizito, gross governance, Mr. Balikudembe. Oh, I can't. Okay, retained profit, transfer to statutory rewards, statements of the director that showing in their opinion they did not find anything to show that statements are materially misstated, so they passed their audit well. And they had nice property information. Okay. insurance receivables, inventory, short-term investments, statement of financial position, okay, statement of other comprehensive income, rental income, and income, premium ceded to new insurers. Okay, you can see statement of changes in equity. Okay, so you'll have to go through all this information to check whether they were compliant with IFRS 17, salvage reimbursements, deferred tax. Deferred tax is determined using exchange rates that have been enacted on the balance sheet and expected to apply when the income tax liability is settled. Okay, fraud risk, credit risk. Their group notes. Okay, so it is a lot of information to check while you go and check whether they are compliant. They're giving notes about HCT system technology, 124 million, staff of computers, tax thereof. So a lot of information. So the same thing, we come here, we select all the information, and we come here to our tool, and we put it there, and then we select IFRS 17, and of course this is suite of insurance, IFRS 17 analysis. Very nice analysis. IFRS 17 SQL insurance. IFRS 17 analysis, and the date is the date is 11th of August, as you can see, and when we go down, it shows that IFRS 17 has not been correctly applied. But like I said, sometimes they use different jargon which will not be picked out by our keywords, and yet they would have been compliant. So you have to go in and drill in deeper, but this tool helps give us a snapshot. So according to it, they were not compliant with IFRS 17, and they had a pass rate of only 34%. So that means you have to go in and actually look at it critically and prove whether the tool is right or not right. So we just save it there, and yeah, I think this is our last. And provided when the auditors come and ask you, oh yes, how are you? Did you check whether SQL's prepared financial reports were in line with IFRS 17? You say yes. Where is your evidence? You show them the report that it's here. This is what they checked. This is what they did check, and they had a pass rate of 34%. So we come here and we update, and we say SQL had 34%. So basing on our tool and on all the companies we have looked at, it shows that the winner is of course Nick Insurance, which was best applied IFRS 17. Its financial statements were prepared in line with it very well, and number two, of course, were Liberty and Sanlam, which also applied IFRS 17 well to their financial statements. However, Jubilee and Swico took the 4th and 5th place, but they did not comply with IFRS 17 when preparing their financial statements according to our tool. But like I said, it's not final. You will have to go in and drill deep now physically to check whether the results from the tool are actually correct. But in short, using the tool, this is the snapshot of the information when we looked at the 5 insurance company using our tool to check whether their prepared financial statements were in line with IFRS 17 insurance contracts. Lastly, and most importantly, one will want to check, but yes, you've given us all this information, but how do I know that my tool is actually correct and being compliant. So the only way to check whether this tool is actually compliant is to actually use the tool using the IFRS standard, IFRS 17, which is downloaded from the IFRS website. So I downloaded the IFRS website, and still the same mechanism is going to be used. We're going to extract all the information which is from this IFRS 17 standard, and we are going to put that information into our tool to check whether our tool is actually in a good place to see whether these prepared financial statements are in line with IFRS 17, because the tool is actually designed based on the information in this IFRS 17. So, provided our tool marks this information we are going to get from IFRS 17 above 50%, it means our tool is good and very viable to use. But if the tool gives a score of less than 50%, that means our tool is lacking, and we have to go in and make a few adjustments to the keywords identification features that are inside, such that our tool can now be very relevant. So this is the IFRS 17 complete standard. It can be downloaded from the IFRS website. As you can see, IFRS 17 insurance contracts. But remember, IFRS 17 is new. It replaced the earlier IFRS 4, but the concepts are a bit similar, only some new changes were applied. So we are going to come and we are going to extract all the information from it, as you can see. And we are going to try and check whether our tool is viable to check whether the prepared financial statements of companies are in line with IFRS 17. So all this information you're going to see is extracted here. So we're going to select it, and we're going to come here to our tool. We are testing, remember, we push all the information here, and we are saying we are testing our IFRS 17 tool. Let's put 2 and put the date, and this is all the information that's contained in IFRS 17 tool. You just come here, we change here. We're looking at IFRS 17, don't forget. And from the information, it shows that hold on, I didn't refresh this. From the information, let me just clear. I did not clear it. Now let's reapply. We're going to come here, paste all the information, and say testing our IFRS 17 tool 3, just to make it different. So we are going to just reselect this to make sure we have not left anything out, and we're going to come here. We're going to select all and paste it in. Yeah. From our information, it shows that our tool is very good, and as you can see, it shows a pass rate of 88%. To be sure, you can even re-clear the form and you retest it again, and say still testing IFRS 17 to 4, still the same date, and you select it IFRS 17, paste all the information, and you'll still see that you get the same result as 88%, meaning our tool is very viable, and it is good to help us check whether IFRS 17 is compliant with the different financial statements that have been prepared by the companies. Tool number 4. And you can even save this so that when the auditors come and ask you, hey, you said that you checked whether your tool is compliant. You say, yes, I did. Well, do you have information to show? Yes. You can then readily show them this. That, you see, it's compliant because we downloaded the IFRS 17 guideline from the IFRS website and we extracted all the information, we input it in our tool, and it came up with the pass rate of 88%, meaning it is viable and compliant. Thank you very, very much for listening to me. That was all with presenting my tool, my IFRS application interpretation tool, and my main application area is compliance. Thank you very much, and I hope you'll pick an interest and reach out to me with more questions, suggestions, and even extend it to people who may want to test with it, play with it. I'm going to share the link where you can find the demo of it, but if you want it complete, you can reach out to me, and if you know someone who want to need it, please share and reach out to me. And also, I don't only do for IFRS, I also do for IPSAS, I also do for different NGO compliances, like for instance, there are people who have World Bank compliance documents. We can design the same tool which help to check key facts for different individuals to check whether they were compliant with the particular policy or not. Other than that, thank you for listening to me. May God bless you. All the best in your endeavors. Bye bye.